Team GB won a total of 65 medals at the London 2012 Olympics, making this one of the most successful games for the nation. What made it more memorable was that as a host country, Britain looked ahead to a lasting legacy of sustainable sport for everyone.
I think we've always been very, very proud of our country and proud of our culture. And this is a chance to show off the best of Britain to the world. And the fact that the major venues for the Olympics have been completed a year ahead of schedule, the fact that we've got fantastic athletes for our Olympic and our Paralympic team, and you know, the fact that we've come through a really tricky period in terms of our economy, and you know, things are looking up. I think people feel very positive. I think London's got it all. I think it is one of the greatest cities on the planet. It's got incredible history, it's got incredible beauty, it's one of the great sporting cities of the world, with Lord's and Wimbledon and the Oval and Wembley. And it's got the most culturally diverse collection of people of probably any city anywhere in the world. And put all that together and it is a world city. I think it's a chance for us Brits to show everyone that when it comes to putting on a spectacle, when it comes to pageantry, when it comes to efficient organisation, when it comes to a friendly welcome, we can do it as well, if not better, than anywhere in the world.
Success of London 2012 started early, with team selections reflecting a wide range of our community. They made up our greatest team.
We've now selected 215 athletes across 18 sports disciplines. The total number of athletes that will compete for Team GB will be around 550 across 26 sports and 39 disciplines, and they will be our greatest team.
A torch relay that spanned the country showcased the nation's heroes. 8,000 of them carried the Olympic flame, covering some 90% of the UK.
The torch relay is about us taking this Olympic ceremony, taking the Olympic torch and distributing it as widely as possible in a democratic way throughout the streets of London for hundreds of Londoners to carry themselves. Thousands and thousands of people are going to watch it. It's going to go past their streets throughout the boroughs of London.
Guys, to your left. Okay, and just guys, this one here again, if you could, thank you. Okay. And to your left, guys, to your left.
You've brought it in. How possessive are you over it? Are you going to share it with us? Love for your...
Sahar Zahid was one of them and showed us her torch on Islam Channel's Living the Life.
Brother, you've got to hold it up. Come on, like, running with the torch.
Once I found out, I was very, very excited. And then you start to get details. So I think when I found out that I should be trying to run for the 300 metres, which is the distance, I did think, what have I got myself into? And so there's been almost this anticipation, excitement, but at the same time mixed in with nerves.
What sort of run was it? Now, 300 metres is quite a distance, yes. But was it like a very light jog? Because it's a pretty hot day yesterday.
It was very hot, yes.
So was it a very light jog, or did you have to actually give it a bit of welly?
Well, if you see, for example, the other torchbearers, you'll see that there are a few men around them in grey. They're actually police officers, and they try and encourage you to run because that's the tradition. And I had no intention of running, if I'm honest. I thought I might do a light skip with a bit of a jog. But subhanAllah, I did run.
You did?
I did run, alhamdulillah, and I managed to run the whole distance.
Oscar-winning director Danny Boyle added to the accolades with this colourfully arranged opening ceremony. It was decorated with the best bits of British history, including this memorable sight of Her Majesty parachuting down from 007's chopper. And as the games got underway, the world began counting. Each nation eagerly cross-checked the medals tally to ensure they were reaching targets and beating their Beijing best.
And perhaps, you know, this last 6 weeks, I don't think I'm ever going to top in my sporting career now. Winning the Tour and coming back and winning a home Olympic Games and a 4th Olympic gold medal.
It was so hard to imagine what it'd be like, and everyone coming into this, everyone was saying, oh, it's a home advantage and it's going to give you a massive boost, but it was so hard to just imagine what it'd feel like. But when I stepped into the stadium before the hurdles, it was just such an incredible feeling. Just as soon as, you know, my name was mentioned, the crowd just went wild, and it was such a great feeling. And I said before, it sounds really cheesy, oh, the crowd will help you, but it did so much, especially in the running events. It just kind of pushed you along. So yeah, it was incredible.
In my head I was telling myself, I'm going to get there, I have to get there, and dig in, and got great support from the crowd, and it gave me a bit more boost. That extra 10% I think came from the crowd.
On paper, I look at technically I've got 6 gold medals. That's more than Steve Redgrave, but Steve Redgrave won 5 at consecutive games, and he, the way he did it, and just the way he carried the whole team in Atlanta, the only gold medal for the whole team, him and Matt Pinsent. He's been an inspiration to me and to most of the team as well, I'm sure.
I'm Hussein Rozovsky, I'm 21, and I'm part of the Team GB fencing squad, and this is my first Olympics.
Team GB fencer Hussein Rozovsky started fencing at a young age after seeing his brothers enjoying it.
My dad saw it in somewhere and he just introduced it to us. And, fencing, sword fighting, Sunnah, and the nearest sport to sword fighting is fencing, so that's why maybe another reason why we do it. Being Muslim, helps me focus, gives me strength when I'm competing, I always pray before matches. It helps me a lot, to know that I have God on my side.
Muslim athletes from across the world came to fulfill their 2012 dreams. Among them a renowned hockey team from Pakistan, a 16-year-old swimmer from the Maldives, a parathlete cyclist from Ghana, and a hijab-wearing sprinter from Afghanistan.
بارا میپوشن شاید زیاد متفاوت باشم شاید با دخترای در مسابقه من رقابت کنم که از اروپا از امریکا از یک کشورها باشن کشورهای غیر اسلامی و من فکر نمیکنم که هیچ تاثیر لباس بالای تایم.
My name is Ahmad Husham and I'm doing 100-meter freestyle and I'm from Maldives and I'm the youngest one competing here in the Maldives Olympic team and I'm 16.
xilliga aan tartanka ka qayb galayno waa ramadaanka dhexdiisa haddii ilaahay uu raalli ka noqdo insha Allah haddii aan maalin u noqdo in tartanka la qabto ma furayo soonkayga waayo waxaan nahay qof sooman.
After my senior secondary school 2004 I realized that sports could transform one's life.
In selecting a host city, the International Olympic Committee looked at each candidate city's plan for regeneration and legacy. And as the year 2012 came to an end, that legacy was evident all around us. At this event, hosted by the Islamic Society of Britain, Muslim athletes and sports enthusiasts came together to celebrate this Olympic legacy.
Well, we managed to pull some more people out of dinner who are actually enjoying the chocolate fountain. Welcome. How's the event been so far?
The event has been really great and we've enjoyed it, especially hearing from the athletes themselves.
How do you think the Muslim community has taken to the Olympics and how is it going to move forward in future generations?
I think they've taken very well, I think more than expected, and I think now they can actually see sport as a legitimate area which to push their children in, especially the arts and sports. I think they can see that it actually can be really rewarding and transformative.
I don't think any of us really realised quite how good it was going to be. I certainly didn't. I've never seen it before in any other country, and I think there was only really this country that could have done it in the way that we did. I think the feel-good factor in the country was sort of second to none, and I think some of us wanted to try and keep hold of that as long as we can, which isn't easy. I actually nominated Jill Hicks to run in the torch relay, and for those of you who don't know, Jill, who's now a friend of mine, is a survivor, actually, not a victim, a survivor of the 7/7 bombings, and she actually lost both her legs. And anybody who's had the amazing opportunity to meet her, you'll realise quite how inspirational she really is. And for me, it just typified everything and actually was a really good way to say, look, this is what you tried to do, the people who tried to do that, and actually, you know, we're moving forward. So she's a real true role model for me. Obviously, the relay then led on to the Olympics, and how fantastic were the Olympics, really. I think those of us who were observing Ramadan were a bit worried about how would we be ultra mega spiritual as we have to be in Ramadan and actually enjoy some of the best sport on the planet at the same time. And I think most of the time we managed it. Certainly in our house, the routines were kind of all over the place, and we tried to do a bit of everything really, but really tried to soak up the atmosphere, which was really only for those 2 weeks.
Oh, it was amazing. Every single athlete that stepped out and represented Great Britain at Olympic Games did us so proud. It's no small feat to actually get to Olympic Games. They're putting years and years and years of training and practice, and and everything to get there, and every single one of them did everything they could to achieve greatness. And people like Mo Spihi came home with a bronze medal, and people like Mo Farah came home with 2 gold medals, and things like that just make us really proud as people watching on and people that are there to support them, really.
Good, Hamza, keep playing. And it's not just Mo Farah or Mo Spihi that have been inspirational. Darren Cheeseman himself is heavily involved in community work across the capital. As England's top scorer in hockey at a recent tournament in Australia, Darren is proving to be one of Britain's favourite sporting heroes.
My advice is really simple. Don't let anyone stop you from dreaming big. It doesn't matter what you want to do. If you really want it, you can achieve it. It simply comes down to 2 things. Do you want it enough? And are you prepared to do everything it takes to achieve it? Every time you come up to a hurdle and you fall and you struggle to get over it, that doesn't mean that your race is over. That doesn't mean that you can't reach the finishing line. You've got to think about how much you actually want to finish that race. And if you want to finish it and you have a lot of passion and you dream about finishing that race, you've just got to look at what you're doing now to get over that hurdle, to get around that hurdle, to get through that hurdle, whatever it takes, you've just got to get past it. You're not going to achieve it by just doing the same as everybody else. You have to make sure that you're pushing yourself to levels that you never thought were possible. You've got to make sure that you're out there training on days that that people are telling you that you're crazy doing. You're thinking about the sport or the career path or whatever it is that you want to do. You're thinking about it all the time, and whatever situation you're in, you can see how things relate back to your dream. And if you do that, you want it enough and you do everything it takes, no one can stop you.
Here it is.
Fantastic. That is actually quite heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised.
I'm lucky I've only got one.
Surbiton's very own Mohamed Spihi is testament to the fact that rowing is no longer a middle-class sport. Half Moroccan and half English, Mohamed won his bronze medal right here at the lakes at Eton Dorney. He says rowing is for everyone and anyone.
You'd be surprised, there's many clubs around this country that would welcome anybody with open arms. That was the beauty about me and how I got into the sport. Was I was talent ID picked, and I joined a rowing club that was 10 minutes away from my house, and I'd never even heard of it. And I'm now one of their shining beacons, and I just feel lucky. But that's my message out there, is that there are rowing clubs there. It's not an elitist sport, it's open to anyone, and I've hopefully proven that. I feel like the Muslim community has benefited not only from my performance but Mo Farah's performances, and it's just shown that sport and Islam can cooperate together and can be a great outlet for young kids to be able to participate in other events and other sports out there, not just for the traditional football and it's a great outlet for the youth to realise that there are opportunities out there for them, and that hopefully it's inspired a generation like the Games wanted.
The London Games coincided with the month of Ramadan, and many athletes, like Mohamed Spihi, postponed fasting until after the Olympics. At the Islamic Society of Britain, plans were made in advance to ensure Ramadan and its blessings could be shared by those less fortunate, so that everyone could sit back and enjoy the Games.
We actually led a project called the Ramadan Festival, which was about sharing meals and, working with the homeless, really opening our doors and actually Muslims saying to others, look, come in, share our fast opening meal with us, and also many people doing things up and down the country with homeless people. So I think for us it was about linking that feel-good factor and the fact that everybody was out and most of the time the sun shone a bit, and actually just try and make that link. And I think, alhamdulillah, I saw some amazing, really, really amazing things. And I think that was living Islam in the, in the very practical sense, in the way that we all need to.
Just under 2 years ago, we started a project called the Planting Seeds Forum, where we look at some of the most talented and brightest British Muslims working in politics, working in media, working in interfaith, working in arts and culture, and we look at nurturing their talent and developing them and providing them a platform to really propel. One of the things I mentioned, some people here were at our last event. SubhanAllah, we had about 45 young Muslims, people who are graduates, who are working in the Foreign Office, in the Home Office, in the Treasury, in the Civil Service, in the Department of Health, in DFID.
The Olympics came to town with a promise to change the sporting future, and that future is already underway with the preparations for the 2016 Summer Games in Rio de Janeiro. Avid athletes would have already started training. Scouts are keeping an eager eye out to find he who can be the best, and London's legacy is shaping Rio's dream. So athletes, on your marks.